folks, welcome back to TIMBERBORN, and I did have the brilliant suggestion of not bothering to build the staircase down here, but that was a little bit late, so we're working on that, and hopefully today we'll get to dealing with these. It depends how time progresses. I've had a bit of an idea. I want to deal with these. Now, we could wait for a drought, or we could bridge our way over to them, or platform our way over to them. So there are a few things I want to try and tackle today. Also had the suggestion of using the fact that we are connected via a tunnel to the main, or to our water tank reservoir kind of thing over here. That we could relocate this sluice inside. I had a little bit of a play with that as a test, and we can, because it's connected by a tunnel and you have to kind of put a step up inside. It isn't quite as neat a control of the depth in here, so I'm going to leave it where it is. It doesn't bother me that there's a sluice here, so yeah, we're going to leave that there. But what I want to do is we essentially need to get out to these. I want to cap these, and then use this as auxiliary water storage for this, because for why? I don't think we really need these water wheels. We can, and we should, and one of you did suggest we put a bunch of windmills along here, and I think we should do that, which we will when we are not relying on these as a primary words are hard, as a primary power source. So yeah. And then I think what we can do is use this to keep this fuller for longer. Words, folks. Yes, I know it's not longer. Please humour me. This week's been utterly freaking awful. Work has kicked my backside this week. My day job has been tough this week. And not like stressful tough. I'm in the midst of a fairly high pressure delivery phase. We can build off the side of bridges now, can't we? So we could go to there, and then there, and then. Don't ask me why I decided to do it this way. I just have. Okay. There. And will that let us get those? Yes, it's going to use a lot of the resources I was trying to stockpile for other things. It's absolutely fine, folks. Yeah, we should be able to reach both of those now. Let's make sure we put in all of the bits of path that we need to get out to those, and that'll close that off. That will need, and we have a mechanism to drain it, because we've got some bad water pumps and we've got the mechanical pump, so we could pump all of the bad water out of this then, which is cool. So we'll let them work on that. That's that little project, and then what we'll have to have is a we'll blast a channel, or we'll extend this channel all the way to here, and we'll have a series of deep mechanical pumps which will let us bring clean water from here into here, and we'll have an overflow on here, so that once this one's full, it chucks good water into here as a storage. And we might even put an overflow on here in case this gets full, to put it into there. Right. more industrial capacity. We have a lot of spare beavers, which are sat on their butts doing nout. So we should exploit them. That sounds wrong. We should make use of them and put them into productive jobs, not exploit. Exploitation is bad, folks. So, building and hauling. Beavers love a bit of building and hauling. So another hauling post. I could have just copied it from there, couldn't I? I know. Building post. And then we will grab that. So that's going to use up 12, 20 odd beavers. We have 60 beavers at the moment. Okay, let's put in a bunch of those. Let's prioritize those. We've got some dirt, but we might want more dirt. And then we're going to need a way to get up here. And then we're going to put a zipline station in. So the easy way is actually probably to bridge all the way across. And I think I recently got rid of a bridge from here. I know, I'm clever. So let's do that. And then I've still got that tool on. The tool that I really hate. So apologies for that, folks. Let's do that. And then let's do that. That lets us build that. And then we can probably staircase down from there, I think. Yeah, let's do that. I've not really planned this. I know you're absolutely shocked. I'm as shocked as you are. Then we'll do that, and that gets us to there. That. Before you lot say, this is going to be a lower priority job, so I'm going to deprioritize it. I know, I do listen sometimes, because I'd like to get this started. And then what we're going to do is we're going to level a bunch of this. What level are we going to do it to? That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked me that. I think we're going to go to the level above where we've come in at. So that means we need to explode away this level. So let's do that. And that's going to be job number 1, is to take the very top layer off of this mountain for an reasonable area. And or do we cunning plan cunning plan folks, if we leave the front, it'll hide some of the new industrial area. I know, as Cunning, as Professor of Cunning from Cunningham University, if you're not from the UK or haven't been exposed to the quality of older British comedy, that will make no sense. That's from a TV show in the UK called Blackadder, which was awesome. Which starred, amongst others, Rowan Atkinson, Tony Robinson, and Stephen Fry, and Hugh Laurie, who are all very, very funny people. So from there, we then need to bring this up. But that means we need to bring all of this up as well, which is a lot of work. But beavers love work. So beavers love beavering. Fact. You can fact check that if you like. Beavers love beavering. is a proven fact. So obviously they can't get to that bit yet. So what we can do is put another staircase there. I think we are currently struggling for plankage. I'm not 100% sure why we're struggling for plankage. Once we've got a little bit of this in, we will put in a dirt store. I guess these are supposed to be 4 things that we are making, so that's okay. Make planks faster. Where are all our planks going? That is a very good question that I don't know the answer to. You should be a supply, really. They're almost all cut out, which is great. Did have the suggestion about making use of this to process some of the food that we are, to, I guess, essentially making bread up here. Which kind of makes sense. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I want to focus on getting the things done that we are working on sorting out. So, yeah. Can we run the game on ×4? Maybe. So those of you that are curious, across various saves, I have had issues with my computer struggling to run them, and I have purchased the components to hopefully upgrade it. Should be a reasonable upgrade in performance, because TIMBERBORN tends to hammer the CPU, and I'm hoping to sort that out next weekend. So we should see an improvement, particularly on the Timberpunk series. Although I've got other computers that I can run Timberpunk on. This is the computer that I tend to use when I'm traveling and things like that, and I am away a lot more at the moment with work, so yeah. Right, what I want to do is prioritize, but it might not let me because I put stuff in a really dumb order, but actually it is. If I prioritize these, then hopefully we can get some storage in for the dirt down here. We are going to need up here an path, so let's do that. Come on, connect, thank you. Because then if we can get storage in here for the dirt, that'll be good. I don't think I'm going to bother putting in the storage for the explosives, but we are going to be doing a lot of terraforming to bring this all up to the level we want it. And we're also going to bring a zip line up from here. Now, someone did suggest about that you could do about butting zipline stations up like this. And I hate to tell you, but it don't work. I don't think. And it does for a start. The entrance is blocked. And in this scenario, pretty sure what you'd have to do to connect them is do this. If any of you know differently, if you if this works without doing this, so if this works, please let me know. I don't think it does. I think you have to have them like that, and then you can use it as a 4 connection point as an interchange. Because I have them like this, obviously, and the distance between them is so minimal, I don't think it matters, personally. Right. Storage. Dirt. dirt, obtain, prioritize. Yeah, something else. Some of you obviously love the fact that I'm using automation. Some of you not so much. But someone pointed out, and so I'm using now sometimes remove and assign workers rather than pause and resume building. And some of you know that I really hate the vacancies thing in the game if it's showing that you have vacancies. And if you have it use remove and assign workers, sometimes, but not always, I found, it will show as a vacancy when it's 0 of 0. And for most people, that's not a problem, because for most people, it doesn't bother them, but it does slightly bug me. So I'm going to go back to pause. But yeah, this way we keep the nice edge. We could even extend the edge so that it goes all the way along. And yet we'll have our then industrial park. And if we put that there, it will connect. There we go. Awesome. That's almost in. We are now heavily taxing our one dirt excavator. Also, this has overtopped at some point, which doesn't really matter because it's just at some point it's overfilled. It's fine, not causing us issues. Yeah, so let's fill in the rest of the dirt that we need to place. Being careful in the order that we place the dirt, because be the game. I'm always a little bit cautious on this kind of stuff. Be a little bit cautious on how we place the dirt. Try and make sure that we don't get any big problems. This is a big old slab that they've got to build. And we could overhang some of it, obviously. Maybe not obviously if you're new to the game. If you're new to the game, terrain can, or by terrain I mean dirt, can overhang by 3 blocks. Which was a new feature for one of the updates to the game. I don't remember which. I'm not the best at trying to be informative, I've got to admit. I'm trying, folks. I'm trying. My wife would say yes, the dad jokes are awful. At least the teenager likes them. Teenager being my daughter, by the way, in case you're curious. It's no longer actually a teenager, but has always been on my YouTube channel, the teenager, because I keep things generic, because real life is separate from video game content for me. And it's just how I am. Do that. Let's do that. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to spin you around there. And let's do that. And that is going to take them a little while. In theory, I did say we would go up another level, but I think I'm going to cut that back with explosives. Just because we're not overly flush with dirt. So if you can't bring the mountain to cut the mountain away. Yep, that's how that saying goes, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it is. But that's going to take a little while. So whilst they're working on that, I suspect even though this is low priority, they've in fact built those anyway. So that's cool. And because they've done that, I'm going to come over here. And we're just going to disconnect that, which means I don't have to worry about deleting all the rules. And we are going to get these enabled again. We are going to open that to let out what's in there. And we'll turn that on. And that'll just let us hopefully get this empty at some point relatively soon. And we'll also start recovering those planks, because planks will be useful. And with that job done, and then, right, they've cleared out all those trees, so you can all go home. And just because I really like that you can do this now, and for neatness, we'll make those vanish. And then for my next trick, we're going to deal with these guys. Very simply, well, not very simply actually, because I want to be able to make this quite deep. So we actually want to make this a little bit bigger than that. Go that side, or are we going to go the other side? Where did we get that? That way's got more space. So we'll go this way. How deep do we want to be able to? How deep do we can go? 5, right? 5 it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep mechanical fluid pump, which will be set to be agua. Power, we put a couple of these guys there. You there, put you there. This needs 700 HP. Ideally need 3 of these, which we can't quite fit on that. But that is okay. You. So we then go round with that guy. Yep. We'll set to good water. So we then need an appropriate scaffold, something like that. Let's go that way. Curve that, and then we can go there, and we can curve that. Go there. Curve that. And then we can go there, and then we can go there. And what this will do is it will stop bad water, and it will let us pump water out to something that is 5 deep. so we can fill this to be 5 deep with good water. So let's repeat that process over here. We'll go this way again. So I made that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long. 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab that. Those. Grab that. Grab those. Grab the Don't Block Builders tool. That there. Make sure that's applied to all of those. There. Don't Block Builders tool. Again there. Give these guys a staircase. Two, 1. Hopefully we can do something with that. There. 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 Awesome. So we have got planks. We are also going to need logs. No, we've got logs. We're going to need planks. We're going to need metal blocks. And I think we also need gears. Obtain. And I need to set you to just be water. Awesome. We might need to put a little bit more power generation in here, but I'll do most of that. We then want to come in here. We will put at the bottom sluices, which close. I think close below contamination. Right. Been a week, folks. I want them to be closed when there's no contamination. I think that's right. Then put those. And then on the top, we put... Yes. Triple floodgates. And then either side there, we put those. That's going to need some help with being built. Put that there, and that there for now. And right, how are we getting on with our various projects? H4, you got it, boom. We like that. We're going to decoration. We're going to have a bulletin pole there. We're going to have a beaver statue to make sure the beaver and a wind vane, so the beavers know what's going on. And a lantern, just so they can see their way. And actually, they're making pretty good progress with that. We're going to need to bring a power connection across here, which is fine because we don't actually need this path anymore. That'll be okay. So that's getting drained out slowly. We will leave those in. That pocket's going to be a bit of a pain. Wheat's looking much better now. Wheat's looking much better. That's good. As are... Why can't I see? As are sunflowers. Awesome. The mine is paused. Why is the mine paused? Because we are short of supplies. Yes, we are short of treated planks? Question mark? Yeah, we're short of treated planks. Okay, but we have got some scrap metal. Well, that's okay. I have wondered whether we need a second mine. Whether we will need a second mine once this is all up and running. Numbers of bots are going up. How is our fuel doing? Fuel is not very high. But we are making fuel, so fuel should go up. Let's just keep an eye on that. So I think one of the things that we want over here, given that we're going to have a lot of industry, we should wait, really, shouldn't we? Yeah. We are going to want... Yeah, fuel has gone up. Awesome. We need more storage for fuel, folks. That would work. Put path there. Let's put a tank for fuel. Let's put 2 tanks for fuel. Set to supply. So they're just going to be overflow, and we just don't have much of a buffer. Don't like that particularly. So they're doing their thing. That's getting pumped out. Which is awesome. Let's recover the resources from this, because they will help with our building projects. How many? Got. And why aren't they all bots? We've got 6. Okay. Obviously 6 isn't enough. That's why we need a new industrial area. It's all linked, folks. It's all linked. Go. I'll just keep retreating those. So that's getting pumped out. We are near the end of the bad tide. So how's this doing? This is holding up well, actually. Yeah. And it's done a good job of keeping all of that irrigated. Very nice. Let's plant a few more trees. You know? Yeah, that's doing a good job of keeping that irrigated. So, let's think. Let's think. One of the reasons we are, I was going to say one of the reasons we're low on treated planks is pine resin, but it's not now. It's planks, I think. So I think we just need to increase our production of everything over here. So we might actually want to make this area bigger, but before we do that, I think we put in some dirt excavation, and I think we hang the dirt excavator off of the edge So we're digging into here. And maybe we get that going sooner rather than later. So let's get this deleted, because then we can extend the power, and then we need to bridge the power across. So I think we want to dynamite that out, which I don't think we can get to. And I think we're going to have an issue in general with access with how I've set this up, which is pain. It is pain. Given we're not storing any treated planks at the moment, we'll get rid of that. But yeah, getting these planks back is going to be useful, because we're about to do some stuff that's going to make heavy use of those, because get the power across, we're going to use that jobby you right. If I put power there, you build that, you can get that built, sir. Reba. And then we're going to put a curved staircase there. Pause that a second. We're going to run power all the way along there. Then we're going to use the power of automation to say, don't block anyone. And see how they do. Yeah, they may. And do that, and then they can get these far ones. Let's see how they get on. Let's see how they get on. Automation seems to be handling it. That one, I'm sure they can get to that from below. Clear the rules on that, because I think they can build that from below. So power there. And then we're going to, oh, bad tide's over. Delete that path. Landscaping, dirt. Yeah. We could stick that there. Let's hit prioritize on that, which means they've got to build all of that dirt as well. We need a power connection there. We then put path there. Path there. You're gonna be bots. Why don't we have bots in this one? Good question. Well asked. Appreciate your feedback, folks. And now we can start the process of replacing some of these junctions with large windmills, which is probably going to take a while, but you know, again, it's a process. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, do we let this? I think what we'll do is we'll wait and see. If by the time we've pumped this out, this hasn't evaporated, we'll do something about it. If it has, we won't worry about it. Deal? Deal. So let's go down here. The decontamination is 7%. and 16%, which is why they're open. Awesome. You can be paused for now, but you haven't done your job automation. So we'll delete you, and what I'm going to do is manually pause all of the top until they've built the rest of it. I don't think automation has enough concept of the rest of the building that's got to happen, maybe. So yeah, let's let them get all of that done, and then we'll put back the deep water pumps. Yeah, so this guy is closed now because it's at 4%. This guy's just going to shudder back and forth. Which is fine. And over here, we're just working on getting this all pumped out, which again is fine. Got this little pocket here as well, which needs to dry out or just get mixed out or pumped out. They have got that almost sorted. That's a lot of treated planks. That's a lot of treated planks. I mean, we have power over here now. Do we start putting it in? So yes, we have this horrid edge to try and account for. And I'm not sure how we do. But what I think we do, stop laughing at the back, children. What I think we do, because that's going to take a while to get built anyway. So while they do, we run an under building power grid, because that'll make things significantly easier. So let's set up for that, which just means we're going to be demolishing a bunch of the dirt we just put in. Oh, for the leaf coats where we could get it back, huh? Yep. Right. Power. Or vertical power shafts. Power. Maybe we start working from here because we've got a nice straight path that's almost in, and we've got a spot to put some storages. So maybe we have a receive for logs and a supply for planks. And I've just been stupid, but do I have more tunnels? I have more tunnels. Power shaft under tunnel platform. Let's put that in. Yes, thank you. Let's put that in. Yes, thank you. And then we have vertical power shaft. Let's put that in. Yes, thank you. Awesome. Where the game updated, I had to take out the more tunnels mod for a little bit, so wasn't sure. That just makes things a little bit easier having that installed. So there we go. And we can start putting in more plank production. 1, 2 of those. This path is temporary. We will get rid of that very soon. Bots. We want some bot fuel up here. So this might be a temporary replacement of that. But we need something if we're going to have bots actually working up here. So those guys, and I don't know if we're making enough of them yet, but yep, we have a stock of punch cards, so let's get that as well. Get those prioritized by haulers. We have more dirt coming now. That's good. And we have a dirt store there. So that's also good. Let's prioritize those by haulers. All right, brilliant. How much space is there behind that? Yes, I can put another row of 3x buildings. So maybe along here, we just have a load of the 3x's. So like plank production, gear production. And what I might do is make some of this our burst capacity. So they only kick in at points where we are very short of stuff. Yeah. And we could. We did that. Then we could delete that. I can extend that way. I'll put in a few more of those. And that'll help. Good stuff. How are we looking over here? We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. We are pretty full on bad water, so, you know, it's going to take a little while. Say it with me. Say it with me. You know the deal. Right, over here. How are we looking? We have a drought approaching. That's fine. That's fine. That doesn't affect us significantly. So let's put back. But pause this guy. Copy you over there. Pause the building of you. Grab you. Pause the building of you. Grab you. Pause the building of you. And I'm hoping that they can reach most of this. And we could give them access to the bottom now, which would get them building a bunch of the bottom layer faster, bottom 2 layers faster. Which might be smart. There we go. Let's just give those a little bump in priority, and then they'll be able to build the bottom faster. And it'll just make this, you know, a thing. I've just spotted that we may or may not need to up the height of this. We can always very quickly adjust. And what we could do is just play it safe and drop those down a bit. But yeah, they should now build the bottom layers of this a bit quicker, which is cool. This is now going in a bit quicker. Treated planks is still very low. And I think in preparation for the next industry expansion, we'll get a vertical power shaft tunnel there. One of them, and then one of those. That bring power to this side. This is a 4x grid, which means we can put in things like treated plank production once we've done the rest of the build over here. So we'll put 4x buildings along here. What I might do actually is move this path back one. Maybe move the staircase to here, or keep it and put a staircase here and run this path along here. And that will allow us to put some storage. And I might use this space at the back for bulk storage, because it's kind of uneven and going to be a bit of a pain. I'm not sure just how much extra production capacity we need. So we'll kind of play it as we see it go. Words. We'll see how much we need. See how much we need as we go, basically. As the colony grows, and it'd be quite nice if we can store a bunch of this extra water rather than it running off the map. The wheat stocks are much better now. So now the thing with this seep is, with how we've got it set up, it'll now stop putting water out into here because it will only go to a depth of 0.8, which is why we need the mechanical pump. So we'll be pumping the water out. Yes, at maybe a slightly slower rate because we don't have enough power to run the deep mechanical pump at full speed, but we'll be able to make this deeper and store water in here. For what? I don't know. Potentially to run into here. We block this off. Just seems like a cool idea, you know? Right, let's speed things up a bit. See if we can get some of this finished off before we wrap up the video. But yeah, next week is going to be equally busy for me. So I'm not sure what the video schedule looks like. I am trying to focus on the popular videos, which are currently Timberborn, which is good news for you guys that enjoy Timberborn. That just makes sense from a algorithmic point of view, and yeah, I sometimes have to do that. I predominantly make the videos that I enjoy making, but I enjoy making all of the videos that I make, so that kind of doesn't really matter, you know. I don't particularly chase the popular games and stuff. I play the games that I enjoy, and it just so happens that the Beaver game is one of those, and a bunch of you enjoy watching me play the Beaver game, and that's cool. Let's hook that up to that bit of path. I don't know if that's going to be quicker or not, but what's that got in it? Planks. Why is that an obtain plank? Oh, it's an accept. Let's put it to accept. I think it's because from when we were building stuff. Yeah, we probably don't need that. We don't need those either. We will leave those there because it's handy having the refueling points. It doesn't really make sense to link those up. Does it make sense to link those in a little triangle? Not really. It's only there to there. So planks are still very much struggling because we're building lots of things that need planks constantly, it seems. But anyway, our metal supply is going up. Let's just remind ourselves what we need for the Wonder. So 2,000 gears. We've got a way to go, folks. 2,000 treated planks and 1,500 metal beams. So we need about another 900 metal blocks, and we need all of the treated planks. So we need a lot more treated plank production. Hopefully. So this guy's online now. So that's going to help. So we need more gear production up here. More treated plank production up here. That will help with our scrap metal production, which will then help with our metal production. I'm not too worried about food production, to be honest. If we just slow the game a sec. Everything that we're producing, the beavers are getting. We're not making maple pastries yet. The maple syrup is for the bots and their catalyst. It's just a case of I haven't set up a bakery for them yet. We don't have a carousel yet, but we're doing pretty well for well-being. considering where we are in the series. So, yep. So, big industrial area is the current focus, aimed at getting the wonder done. And I'm going to go for the 3 wonders on here because there's an achievement for it. Yes, which I learned from watching JC the Beard. There are a bunch of achievements. I've got some of them done just from playing my own saves that I play off camera. I do play this game off camera because I enjoy playing it, and through playing on here. But yeah, the 3 wonders we're going to do as part of this save. I'll have a look and see what other Folktales ones there are, and we may focus on doing those in this series to get them knocked out. And then in the Iron Teeth one, we'll have a look at doing those on the Timberpunk save if we can. That map is more challenging early on, but once we're into the late game on there, we'll have a look at knocking those out as well, if we don't knock them out naturally as we play. I found with some of the Folktales ones, I was just naturally doing them as I played. Like there was one for having a kilometer long a kilometer long zipline network, and I just did that because I had a big save, and it just naturally happened that the zipline network was a kilometer long in the end. Yeah. So, right, that's most of that in. I just want to go check on awesome. So that's pumped out. This is not quite dry yet, so I think we are going to free the bad water. I know, it sounds wrong. Let's grab some stairs down here. Ultimately, it's going to help with the stuff that we need to do. So we need single. Let's put singles there as well. Double, and then triples like that, like that, and doubles through there, and that'll get it where it needs to go. That's maybe not what we want to do actually. Just going to take that down 1 level further than that. But that's only currently at depth 3, so I guess we could do that. So that goes down 1, that goes down 2, that goes down 3, that goes 2 down. Yeah, that works. So we need to be able to place all of that. We'll see how they can get on with a tiny bit of help. Like that. And like that. By the time I've built this, that might have evaporated, but you know. I think we want to get here anyway. I think I want to have this as my overspill. I mean, we can build this anyway because we've got overhang here, but I want to open this up so that it can overspill into here more easily. So that's fine, yeah. Right, we will give these guys a little bit of encouragement. And encouragement, as they say. We are at least positive on planks now, which is good. So, not on scrap. We're just about getting scrap metal out. And so it's going to be having a down chain effect on everything. The bots are going to be producing less, but we've got loads of bots, so maybe that's not an issue. All right. Well, they've got all of those in. Awesome. So let's... Yeah, they should be able to place all of that, I think. Let's just get that done, and then we'll have one big explosive session. Oh, right, let's get rid of you and place the missing one. while they're finishing that up. H for boom, H for boom, H for boom, H for boom, H for boom. We will then wait while this gets done. Come on, buddy. You got this. Which is why I didn't boom you, because I was worried about letting this stuff loose. Right, H for boom. H for boom. H for boom. It is kind of messy. Let's triple dynamite out that bit as well. But it does let them pump out all the way back to here. And my thought is that we just have some dams here or something. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know how deep this gets. We'll have to pay attention next time and work out at what height we put this in. There we go. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. Kind of like the idea of taking a little bit more off of there as well. Just a little bit more off the side, sir. Just a little bit more. And we will then go reconnect this guy. All right, those are all built. So now we should be able to... Let's just double check. That's all done. And hopefully... automation will now handle the pausing of building those. Not that it matters because it's a 12-day drought now, you know. Right, that's in, that's being sorted. Let's just get this bit done. I think we're going to call it a day. So that's prioritized. That's all done. So we will work on populating this properly next time. But we're going to come along the back here like that. I'm going to throw in a couple more of those. And then we're going to throw in some gears. And it probably makes sense to grab the rules. Rules help control the fun, folks. Thanks. Just in case we do get massively caught up, you are all going to be bots. Awesome. We need to grab that. Copy to there. Awesome. So you'll pause now as well. Good stuff. So we can extend this along now quite easily. If we wanted to, let's throw in a couple more of those. That'll probably be a good idea. And let's blast that out. And that'll be fine. So you can be paused for now. These are all going to get deleted, but we'll worry about that next time. Because next time, this is going to be for good water. It's interesting that there's still some contamination in the soil. I guess that needs to just seep away. But yeah, we will sort that next time. And I hope you have enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. And I'll see you all next time, folks.